Hey, Skelly. Hey, Skell. Man, Skell, I want to talk to you about something, man. Oh, first off, Skell, I hope you are doing well. We did have that conversation on Discord server, or on the Discord group. That was nice. What did I want to tell you? Hey, King of Nerds. Hey, White Despair. How am I doing? I'm alright, man. I'm alright. I'm alright. How are you? Well, and that question goes to everyone. Hey, Chris. Skell, now I remember. I finished watching the first season of Yoshihiko. So I'm very excited to watch the second season starting tomorrow. That's gonna be fun. I'm kind of sad that I finished the first season, but there we are. And then Scale, yeah, like on the weekend, we'll go back and we'll go through Star Wars and finish that up. If you we'll probably find the time because it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll probably have a good enough range to figure it out. All right, let's check this out. Oh, hey, Robert. And King of Nerds, you don't come on very often, so I'm hoping you're having a good time. Let's see. And Joker, this is a new person. Hello. Hey, Ty. And I'm alright, Ty. I'm alright. I was just telling Skelly that we're gonna finish watching the Star Wars stuff like on the weekend. And let's see. Yeah, that's everyone. And Skelly says he's doing good. He stole the models from Metroid Dread and trying to do something cool with it. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Oh, you typically lurk. Nice. How far do you get in Visions? I think Skelly and I were only on like episode 4 or 5. It was a production IG one, the really long episode. So I think we're halfway through and then we'll finish it up on the weekend. Um, is there anything else that's worth talking about? Not really. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking about Hero Academia after like the past week, and if you have any other thoughts. Coming into this, I thought I was going to have more things to talk about, but I'm already kind of forgetting. One second here. Just gotta do one last check. Yeah, no, everything's working. I'm just gonna look very quickly to see if there's any anime news that's worth talking about. Um, Not that I can really see on Anime News Network. Yeah, don't really see anything worthwhile. Gundam Hathaway did good. Yeah, I guess nothing really worthwhile here. Alright. Oh, Tallow! Hey, Tallow, I got your last email. I haven't replied yet, but Tallow, I will send you some more stuff after the live stream is over. Good to have you, Tallow. Hope you had a good time at the gym. I absolutely love Spinner's lineup. We could have also won by leaving the country. Can't believe all I made about Spinner turned out to be pretty accurate. I know, man, right? I know. I was like, I mentioned it in the video. I thought of you when I saw that line, and it's just like, this is so perfect. This is the energy that, yeah, he should be having. Tallow. Oh, yeah, Tallow, I forgot to tell you, but Goddess of the Dormitory, I'm currently rewatching it to do the review for it, so that's where I am on that progress with that episode, with that video. Just letting you know. Let's see. Robert's asking about Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Yeah, I saw it. I saw like the Piccolo trailer pretty much, right? Yeah, I saw it. Red Ribbon RB coming back. That'll be interesting. As long as no one jobs, it'll be okay. And then Jason, hey Jason, and keeping out Chapel. Wait, yeah, I know that I'm one episode behind right now. So I started watching the episode today, but then I got busy because I had to do some work. And so I'm like 10 minutes into the most recent episode. So hopefully I'll be able to finish it up tomorrow or something. Did you hear about first episode came out and they pushed? Bro, really? Really? I haven't watched World End Harem yet. I'm glad that I don't have to watch it. Like World End Harem, I don't think World End Harem's that great. I think we already talked about this, but the fantasy version might be much better. Wait, let me just I just want to Google this. I just want to see what happened. Let's see. Only a few hours before episode was the hiatus was delayed to January 2022. New anime broadcast late, including Mushoku Tensei Platinum and others. Yeah. Uh, because it's necessary to scrutinize the expression. Because it's necessary to scrutinize the expression, we have decided to postpone the broadcast. Like, what is this? Like, what happened? Was it too raunchy? Is that what's going on? Was the first chapter of World End Harem that raunchy? Let me just run the translation on this. I don't remember the first chapter being that raunchy. I mean, like, the main character is actually probably the most respectable main character in the thing. Like, the problems start when you have the other main characters. Due to the need to carefully examine the expression of the anime, the harem of the end, we have decided to postpone the broadcast of the second and subsequent episodes from next week and distribution from today to next January school year. Carefully examine the expression of the anime. That's interesting. Thanks for that, Ty. I didn't know. So what are your thoughts about Also, what are your thoughts about the father going forward with the series? Chris, honestly, very surprising. I'm not really sure how to say that I wasn't expecting the father to be like a byproduct or whatever they called him of Buddy Girl. That was surprising, legitimately. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to really make of it. That kind of came out of left field, so I'm very interested in seeing the guy's psychology, I guess. And I'm interested in understanding how this old man is comparable to this very beautiful young lady. That'll be interesting in of itself. Hey, Gohan. Yeah, Gohan, I'm alright. I've just been busy. I was thinking about talking to you, Gohan, but I was just decided I was going to talk to you probably on the live stream. And hey, Chris. One thing I really like about Arknights is New Zealand gets English language content before every other country. Oh, nice. You going to watch the anime with the MC kicked out of the Hero Party? Yes, Gohan. I have watched one episode of it. And I don't know when my review for it's going to pop up. Today I finished recording my review for the first episode of Isekai Assassin. And my review for Faraway Paladin. Which will probably come up tonight on midnight or maybe at 1 o'clock in the morning, my time. Because of the way that the scheduling's working. But yeah, hopefully I'll be like following it casually. My eyes are going, can't make out any time. Curse my 45 plus demographic. Yeah, Tallow, your sensibilities are catching. Your sensibilities are changing your age by the minute. Hey Kayla, I believe I can fly. That's great. I dropped that manga. I can't believe we got a sequel. World End, right? Let's see. Did you hear about Dan Xavier and how he addresses Izuku as a traitor theory? No, I haven't. This week should be good for... I told people on Manga Helpers that regardless of whatever Star and Stripes quirk is, the only quirk that would make Shigi pretty much unstoppable is Erasure. Like, okay, when you say erasure, you mean like erasure of physical phenomena, right? Or like something like just erases things? Let's see. Interpretation all over again. World got pushed to winter. The MC of World is too much of a herbivore. That is funny. Kinda hyped to watch Shigi struggle with the All for One vestige for control in real time during these fights. I don't know, bro. I'm not sure if we can actually say that there's going to be a real time conflict here. Because, like, if you think about it, Shigaraki's doing what All for One wants him to do. There is no real indication of the two fighting for control of the main body right now. Just because All for One's talking like, oh yeah, Spinner, you're going to be helping Shigaraki in the coming days. Like, and Shigaraki isn't smart enough to know to go after Star and Stripe. And I'm assuming that the reason that All for One knew where Star and Stripe was going was because All for One has, for whatever reason, an information network or whatever. So, I don't know if there's going to be actual fight for control with Shigaraki because the All for One vestige... oh, damn it. I screwed up. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah, because of the way that All for One seems to be behaving, I don't think there's going to be a significant bit of control there. Heck, man, like, it's still relatively interesting what exactly is going on. Okay, so let's see. What if take a guess whether the recent here changed those about All for One taking over that I told you about. Were they swayed or did they have absurd claims to justify it still? Probably absurd claims to justify it still. Like, mind you, like, just to make it clear here, White Despair, if you were, for me, you know, if All for One gets One for All and he has like a ticket to Eternal Youth or whatever, I wouldn't be surprised if he decides like, okay, Shigaraki, you're just gonna stay being my useful tool, and I'm just gonna keep being the Demon King, right? But that's like after he gets One for All and he's moving into his final phase of the plan. Like at this point, All for One's happily ever after is pretty much him being with his brother, right? So I think he's probably the kind of person that wants to guarantee he's going to be able to stand side by side with his brother. Heck, you know what might be really interesting? All for One forcing his brother to take over Shigaraki's body. That might be interesting, because then he actually is standing next to his brother. But I don't know how. I don't know how that would work. I mean, like, I do think All for One wants to stand next to his brother, legitimately. I never heard this happening in the anime, and people say there is no censorship in Japan. What? There's no censorship in Japan? Who says this? Oh, how can you say there's no censorship? Okay, this is the weird thing. How can you say there's no censorship in Japan when every anime is censored? Like, if it's a harem, it's censored. If it's hyper-violent, it's censored. If it happens to fall on a day when there is a massive disaster and the topic matter happens to be about a disaster, it's censored. Heck, you might never see the episode again. I don't know what, no censorship in Japan? Like, no, there's tons of censorship in Japan, man. Like, there's always censorship. It's just like, we're used to it. No, old man who called me. Yeah, Tallow. Oh. I'm not sure if it's being censored, Ty. It's more like they realize how bad the story is and are like, what the heck? I don't know if it's an issue of how bad the story is, because they've put out other things that are really questionable. It's like, how did this not get vetted is the other big question. I'm just trying to think, like, in this day and age, you have quite a lot of questionable content coming out. I mean, Redo of Healer came out, and Redo of Healer is significantly more intrusive than World End Harem. I watched Isekai, felt bad for the blonde. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, Tallow, yeah, the Isekai Assassin one. That one I went pretty hard on in the review, because I don't think it's really good as a first episode when it comes to information volume, because it's pretty vapid otherwise. So yeah, otherwise it's probably gonna be stylish. So let's see. I was planning on watching. Is it entertaining, Trip? I don't know, Ty. Like, I've kind of at first I thought it was cute and adorable, but I don't like that the main character is a child. So it's already like one of those things I have to go in and just kind of have fun with it. I don't know if it's going to be entertaining. I think the girls are pretty. But Ty, knowing your taste, I'm not sure if there's any girl there that would fit your taste there. Jason, Eraser. So the Eraserhead quirk. Gotcha, man. Gotcha. I was thinking like maybe you were talking about that, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah, if he had Eraser, that probably makes Izuku irrelevant. There's still some manga I want to get animes, hoping it happens some point. Shigaraki, let's see. Where am I? Okay, Shigaraki shouldn't be an advantage since they're in the air. Probably show off new quirks. I mean, it won't be an advantage, but if she gets touched, she's dead pretty much. The most common claim I've seen him make is that it's obviously All for One is in complete control, and he's obviously just imitating Shigaraki's speech pattern in order to confuse and deceive Star and Stripe. What? That's stupid. Why would you deceive someone who knows nothing about you? No, Shigaraki's in control. That's the point of why, like, he's referring to himself as himself. No, Shigaraki, that's stupid. Okay. Careful, Trip, that line of thinking might come true. I think at this point, All for One is cementing himself as My Hero Academia's final villain. Oh yeah, no, I think All for One's going to be My Hero Academia's final villain. Like, in my mind, Izuku redeems Shigaraki, and then All for One comes in for the last minute and takes over Shigaraki fully, because he doesn't want to lose. Like that's the desperation play. That's the final play of Hero Academia, because you need to make Shigaraki into a victim in order to be able to save him. Did anyone say something about Mineta Momo being the OTP, or is it just me? No, I think I heard that somewhere. Let's see. Also, disappointed with my wife is a Demon Queen. I don't get why the author has written the MC getting blue balls so much. Normally that doesn't happen in manhwas. I don't think it's that kind of manhwa, man. Like, I feel like when you look at My Wife is a Demon Queen, when you look at it from the very beginning, it's blue ball central. Like, it's really just kind of drawn it out. And I don't know, like the manhwas that I think you're talking about, there's a like back in the older days, especially like around the time of the Breaker New Waves, there's a lot of blue balling going around when it comes to those manhwas. They're quite annoying with it in a lot of different ways. Heck, I don't know if you look at like the webtoons like Tower of God and God of High School, those are also like another big blue ball central, I think. Japan is the land of censorship. Fortnite is censored. In why last man all mail from this started dying out except two MC and his pet. Government looking clone and cure. Yep. I have several 6 stitches that say otherwise, my friend. All right. They don't show the carpet. We know it. We never know if it matches the drapes. Oh, Chip Knuckle Duster came back and then. Yeah, I saw that. I read it. Author probably got married. Let's see. There's some censorship involving stuff being cut or changed from the source. I said something along those lines about All for One through Shigi. Now that you mention it, I get an idea of how basically after acquiring One for All. And Jason, forgive me because I did forget. If you mentioned it here, I forgot for sure. I love imagining All for One carrying the giant chair from Tartarus just so he'll have a place to sit in his cave. I'm guessing that has to do with the impregnation. Pretty much anything else is similar to redo. Not sure because normally manhwa, it's known for adult affection times in the story and there's been hardly any. No, like I think that's a particular genre within manhwa. I think that is a very specific area, and I think when you're looking at the adventure ones don't tend to go there. Let's see. Redo is a bit more absurd compared to World and Harem. I have to agree with that. Redo of Healer should be shown in Jump. That's the best shonen. Gotcha, Omar. He would use the vest that exists to control his brother and force to his will, but he needs Shigaraki hates to break the will first. Yeah, okay. I can see what you're saying. I get that it's going to be like a lot of plays. I feel like there's going to be a level of convolution there to make that work. I wonder why the other member of Law Crew hitch a ride on Momo to go to Onigashima, since Beppo, Tsachi, and Penguin are barely shown since they came to the island first. There's no reason to be there for the story. Yeah, I saw that, and I also thought that was really odd. Why did they show up there? I guess it's because they can't really support from the ocean anymore. But then again, if Luffy falls, oh, he falls on ground, so he'll be fine. Yeah, no, that I saw them, and I thought that was really weird. For me, the relationship between All for One and Shigaraki is like Palpatine and Vader in the comics. Palpatine uses Vader like a tool, but it's okay if he betrays and takes his place. Either way, evil lives. And in this case, in Shigaraki's case, even if Shigaraki, I'm still pretty sure that All for One dying by Shigaraki's hands is in his mind still okay because he still lives on inside Shigaraki. So, like if we're talking about like having a backup plan, you do have a backup in Shigaraki already. Oh, Terry has jury. Shoot. All right, see you, Terry. Let's see. Thoughts on latest Pokemon Journeys episode? That was the one where Go catches a new Pokemon, and I know that the next one is the Lucario episode. I thought it was alright. It wasn't a big episode. I was thinking the same. Otherwise, why would All for One want to search? I'm pretty sure All for One used to perceive Deku as the new successor. I'm pretty sure All for One used context clues as well. Either that or he sensed the shift in One for All, because he might be able to sense that. No, Trip, you don't get it. Obviously, the reason that Shigaraki appears to be in control is because All for One still completely control is merely... No. Okay, yeah, it's absurd. The MCNs need to have adult affection time. It's not going to happen, man. Not until we get close to the... It's not going to happen for a long time. Worlds and Hair is getting delayed after the first episode. Yes, it's to confirm the story that Isabel likes the MC a lot. Let's see about how chapter 93 pretty much disproves the entire theory. I remember dropping worlds but got boring. But interspecies reviewer, on the other hand, interspecies reviewers are going to always be wonderful. Jury duty is annoying, especially since I had it for a month. Okay, chapter dividers are as the best in Eden Zero so far. Oh, hey Deathray. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm still waiting for the reset. No one remembers censorship in the trailer form as black bars. Oh no, I remember that one, man. And oh, hey, sorry, the magical sunlight beams are my favorite anime censorship. I think my favorite anime censorship are just when they give up and they just put like little buttons over top of people's boobs. I think those are my favorites. I think Shin Moeta, yeah, Shin Moeta used, I think, those little weird fish to cover up people's private bits. I enjoyed the last Evolution episode rather than Journeys despite it having Cynthia. Oh, Ghost Game. I've only seen one episode so far, and I enjoy it. I need to watch I want to watch 3 episodes before I give my opinions on it. I hope not, Trip. It needs to happen earlier in the story, especially when I see stuff like that happening in harem mangas. Just think more can be done better. The light beam of censorship. Trip, you forgot. Look what Horikoshi did to Toga. I've never seen her, so look how they massacred my girl. I didn't take that all that important. I didn't take that seriously just because I thought that was just a shot. You know, it was just like an exposition shot, not necessarily what she's doing in real time. The lack of a background is what really makes me not really go towards it too much. So yeah, hard to say. I really think I think Toga's gonna be here specifically to save Shigaraki, because Toga's rhetoric is really set up to say she wants to protect the place that she belongs in, and the place she belongs is with the villains. So legitimately, I do think that's where she's gonna come back. Rebecca isn't using Cat Leaper. Mashima stated the ending of this arc is going to send the rest of the manga in a more serious direction. You just don't have faith in him. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't have faith in him. Just because there are so many ways in this series to overwrite events. And look, mind you, Death Ray, like, again, all I'm saying is I'm going to withhold my judgment on the arc until I know whether or not he's going to undo stuff, right? That's all it pretty much is. And I think given his track record, I have enough reason to feel relatively safe in waiting. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with holding my opinion until the entire arc is over. I mean, I don't want to get caught up in the hype and then get disappointed. Yeah, no, like, again, if the man doesn't use Cat Leaper, then respect. Because it takes balls to commit. But yeah, I'm 100% fine waiting. Everyday life with monster girls literally just remove the nipples. You can see the boobs, but they just look like cream-colored flesh balls. Yeah, I think that's a pretty worthwhile method to use as well. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. I think probably that solves a lot of issues. I'm very curious about what exactly All For One plans to do with Stars and Stripes. He says, should I master steal the quirk? I just found it interesting since he's not going to see that Tamura is. Oh no, by despair. I talked about that in the video. But it all depends on how All For One views Shigaraki. If All For One views Shigaraki as an extension of himself or as a tool, then All For One using a tool to take Star and Stripes' quirk could still count as him taking the quirk in his mind, right? So it's like, you know, with All For One, it's always an issue of what exactly is he meaning, and we don't really know to what degree he has claimed ownership over Shigaraki in his mind, right? But when you look at the dialogue, it could just be something as simple as he steals it at the last minute, or he's planning to do the steal, or he's planning to take it from Shigaraki later, or he's planning that since Shigaraki's going to have it, he essentially has it as well because he can control Shigaraki. Or he can, you know, he can use Shigaraki as a piece on the board. So I think there's a lot of ways to interpret it. And for Star and Stripe, what she has to be looking out for is the possibility that All For One pulls like some kind of weird teleport on her and is able to take her quirk when she least expects it. If All For One has a copy of the Kurogiri quirk, that in of itself is over, but doesn't seem that All For One has a copy of that quirk, because then he wouldn't be using Kurogiri the way he does. It's kind of hard to figure that one out. I've seen uncensored verge up Trip in One Piece. Do you think the final battle will be going for Sabo, or are we gonna save Sabo and there's gonna be a bigger war, final fight, or whatever? The final war happens when they find One Piece, and that probably is where like the Celestial Dragons get involved. The final war might also happen with Fishman Island. We'll have to see. Like, there's a few fights that are slotted to happen. There's still the fight that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet's gonna be involved in. And then there's the fight at the end of the manga, or the war at the end of the manga. Do you think the author making One for All is his way to extend the series a bit? The chapter felt like it could set off a continuation with other countries and their villains. I think like he might have. I feel like he might be thinking that. I feel that with the way that the information came out here, you might have a situation where other people can pick up the story and do spin-offs based on the idea that there's, I know, amazing crime in other countries. I think that's a pretty safe place to start from. In terms of this is him extending the series a bit, not really. No, I just think that's him trying to save face with All For One, which is funny because he doesn't have a face. I think it's a little bit more of trying to save face and trying to make All For One, just trying to like make him seem like, yeah, he was this really big deal. And with it being a medium-term goal, I just think that's putting things in perspective. I think that's just ultimately All For One saying that I have a whole life planned out for me and my brother. I just want to get him, and then I want to live the rest of my life with my brother. Like, All For One's life doesn't end with getting One For All. Like, actually, if you think about it, that doesn't make sense, that his life would end with getting One For All. It actually makes more sense that there's more to life beyond One For All. He probably is just like the kind of guy who can't start the rest of his life without getting closure on this one particular thing. I think All For One was really poor when he was a child, and I think his brother was probably like his only friend. So that's why he's so fixated on his brother. Mind you, like, if it comes out that All For One actually hates his brother for whatever reason and he actually doesn't care about him, then I'll feel really bad, because that's my one theory, is that he loves his brother in his own weird little way. But we'll have to see. There's a, let's see, Japan banned Mortal Kombat video games. Let's see, LOV being a family feels like someone trying to piece together a broken glass. Yes, especially when you have Dobby in it, because Dobby doesn't really care for them. For Shigaraki, I see it as to show his progress, like Izuku versus Nagant. Also, this battle will really make it Shigaraki seem like an even crazier threat if he takes out the strongest woman in the world. Yeah, right? Exposition, right? We talked about that being the possibility here as well. Doctor Stone was a good chapter this week. The ending of the chapter was interesting. Was it lack of oxygen or a traitor that set off the Medusa? Chris, it was cracking. Like, there were cracking sounds coming from it. I don't think it was a traitor. I think there's a condition where if it's vacuum set, the condition of being in a vacuum will destroy the Medusa. In my mind, his ultimate goal is to be the Demon King, and One For All is just what he needs to do it or something. I believe All For All's main goal is either longer life or world domination. That'll make him a true Demon King. Yeah. I think he wants to rule over his kingdom with his brother by his side. So whatever you need to do to get there, that's probably... He's going to come up with an interpretation to make that work. In my mind, his ultimate goal was to be Demon King, and One For All is just what he needs to do or something. Alright, I got that. Been reading Oshinoko. It's amazing, and now I have 3 series to read each week. Oh, that's good, Deathray. There's still Blackbeard fight. There's still the World Government fight. I do think Blackbeard and World Government happen around the time that they find One Piece. I find it weird, since the chapter All For One refers to Shigaraki's, but also seemingly refers to Tomoda as an extension of itself within 2 pages. That's a good point. That is weird. I mean, he still has mechanisms to get the quirk from Shigaraki after Shigaraki steals it, right? Like, he can still use All for One on Shigaraki because he has a copy of his original quirk. He might also just be playing loose and goose with it, kind of thing. He might be... Well, he might also be changing his words according to who he's talking to avoid confusion. Also, like, we have to acknowledge we don't know All for One's plan on this one, so he might have like a giant convoluted thing to justify getting that quirk. Kurogiri's quirk seems to require massive enhancements to fully utilize. Yeah. Opinion on Ansatsu Kizoku? I need the English name. Death Ray. Just seems very... But then again, that's basically All for One in a nutshell. Yes. Think as they fight, Izuku will detect All for One to show range of danger sense, and Izuku will fly in to help the fight. So we don't know who would have won. That would be interesting. I don't know. Izuku doesn't seem to be able to have that much crazy range. There's plenty of laid-back anime to watch this season. And Jason asked, how was the visit with the mom? Yeah, that was quite lovely. It was quite lovely. We didn't have any fights. She respected my boundaries, which was good. Yeah, probably like one of the better visits that I've had in a very long time when it comes to her. I think she was a little bit more mellowed out this time as well. It might have also been her being tired that took out some of like her feistiness. You want to know what I learned, Jason? So, in my mind, I thought Jamaican came into my family a little bit earlier than I thought it did. But my great-grandmother was flat out just Jamaican who had moved to Cuba during Jamaica's job riots like in the 1930s. So that was actually something interesting because I thought that the Jamaicans started at my great-great-grandmother. So that was actually a little bit of new information. I learned some new information. God, like I'm so old. Over 20. And I'm still learning stuff about my family, the secrets. But yeah, no, it was pretty chill. Yeah, like honestly, usually I get really stressed with it, but this time was just very lovely. People give names to their alternate personalities. I think Shigaraki kind of useless without his quirk. I think Shigaraki's kind of useless without the augments. Been reading up on the Damien Robin comic. When Red Hood was trying to capture Damien, he made a joke to him that he wants to fight him, but he left his crowbar at home. Damien is the most savage Robin. Even if All for One gets One for All, we know he wants his brother, but what will he do with the other vestiges within One for All? He'll just say, oh, screw off, you guys, I don't care. Probably just get rid of them. Yeah, isn't Kurogi quirk technically a created quirk? Well, I don't... Okay, so I don't understand... In my mind, I don't see why there should be a distinction there, because if Kurogiri is a created quirk, then so is One for All, right? Because One for All is created from the mixing of Stockpile and the original quirk to pass on quirks. So when you have that there, if he's trying to take One for All, he should be able to try and take the mutated quirk, which is Kurogiri's quirk, right? So that's my mind. That's why I don't make a distinction between Kurogiri's quirk. I don't know if there's something about his body that makes that quirk more reasonable, but I see Kurogiri's quirk equivalent to One for All in the way that it's created by what I understand from it in the story. I have the MC kicked out of here to watch when it's finished, but there's also MC with the Crest anime coming. Yep. Also, loving these YouTube Smash Bros. Sephiroth having PTSD fighting Sora in the past Kingdom Hearts games is hilarious. All for One says, should I manage to steal her quirk, which seems to paint Tomura as million extension. However, on the very next page, you will support Tomura Shigaraki. Opinion on the world's finest assassin. Oh, Death Ray, yeah. No, man. If you just wait for tomorrow, I have a video coming out with it. Like, I think the anime is worried about it. I don't think the anime is confident in it. Because the anime's strategy here is pretty terrible on the first episode. And then the rest of the episode is a circle jerk. Just trying to tell you, hey, this guy's amazing. If you look at every single scene of the anime, you can say, oh, they're trying to show me how amazing this guy is. Except maybe the first one, because the first one is trying to say, like, hey, look at the amazing things this guy and his party are going to do in the future. But before that, look how amazing this guy is now. That's how I'm reading it. To let you know, the manga equivalent doesn't have these issues as pronounced because the anime, I think, just made some really bad choices here. Why are the birds going off? All right. So how is Arc9 streaming you so far? Well, I read it. I read some new player guides today. But yeah, okay. And yeah, I think I'm doing a little bit better. Let's see. And back to White Despair. Like, yeah, White Despair, man. I agree with your point here. Like, I'm trying to make sense of it. I see like the issues with it. Bro, the part where Nightwing caught up was great. Damien was made to be Dick's Robin. Just seems very contradictory to me to seemingly refer to Tamura in two very different ways, literally back to back. Shigaraki's decay might be able to kill the one for all vestiges. Killing the other ones might break his brother's will. Yo, if Shigaraki's decay can affect things that don't exist physically, that's going to be crazy. So in this Star and Stripe chick, the new Lady Nagant, an overhyped strong female character the media and the cosplayers latch onto as a symbol of empowerment, only to then disappear in 2 chapters. That's what we're kind of concerned about right now, Talo. Like, that's probably, like, oof. Nightwing stock with Damien is great, got a little emotional. I read the Konosuba manga, and it's past where Subaru and Chris team up together as thieves to steal from a princess. Oh, okay. I think Joker is more threat than Shigaraki because Joker intelligence. Shigaraki can't do much with his quirks. Shigaraki can't fight for crap or intelligence much. Yeah, I would say so. Orc web novel is really good. It's Michiko Tensei novelist. It's about an orc hero who wants to lose his virginity to someone who's also a virgin. Okay. 10-second. Ah, yes, Gal, you're talking about the specialist. Let's see. The Gaunt fight was one of the longest in the manga, and Deku was one of the strongest. Not sure what people expected from her. Yo, Jason, no, Talo's just having fun, man. Talo's just a little bit irreverent. But yeah, no, for the Nagant fight, you guys all remember, like, the Nagant, I just think, like, Nagant has very unique rhetoric when it comes to the series, I think. Uh-oh. Can I get it in time? I can. Let's see. Do. There we go. Because I think that girl has a skill. And this girl has a skill here as well. Wrong one. Uh-oh. Oh. Well. Life. Sure. Also, him saying he was raised by a clown from the circus. By the way, he moves are pretty funny. Have you ever read The White Mage Who Was Banished from the Hero's Party? It's picked up by S. It's chapter. I don't think I have. I don't think I have read that one. Oh, right. Where's my mouse? There it is. Here we go. Eventually, I'll be able to look away from this. Gotta put my medic out, though. Gotta make sure the medic is here to save people. I think that'll be good enough. Oh, someone got busted. Ah, that's okay. God, the mouse is just horrible here. Let's see, do I have anything to use as a mouse pad? Okay. Anyway, yeah, Kayla, I do not know that one. I have to quickly report, and they're both godsends. Wrong one. Let's see. Lena was not right person for. I'm curious if All-For-One actually wants to be with his brother Vest at all. Going off his words when he in the war, it doesn't seem like it. Nah, I think he does in his own weird way. That's what I'm kind of feeling for that guy. I think he's just gonna. I think it's gonna just be something about a warped kind of love. I think that's how they're gonna try and justify it. call something warped and all of a sudden things work out for you. Oof, that's a rough one. Probably put out a defender. This girl's probably going to cause issues here. Anyway. I mean, it makes sense. Wasn't his decay affecting the Vestige world and they were holding him back, and all from commented, but it's because he was acclimated to, wasn't strong enough to take one for all. Yeah, I'm pretty sure decay can kill them if he gets in touch with them. It's just like, I don't want to believe that a physical quirk, you know, is able to affect ghosts. Like, that just, it just seems wrong to me. That's the thing that's just holding me back on this. It just seems wrong. So that's my opinion on it, Jason. I thought that it was his hate that was decaying the rules of the Vestige world, and his hate was being represented by decay. I thought it was decay. I thought it was hate. So I had to look at that part again. But my first instinct legitimately is I don't want to believe that decay is going to affect ghosts, right? Because that just feels so weird. And I mean, like, there's one thing if you want to make it like a metaphor for an actual process, but I hope it's not actually decay doing it. Ah, yes, Tallow. The guy's ideals weren't unique, more like straight up dumb. Look at me, I do shady stuff to keep the peace, but I'll join All for One since he knows what the truth is. Lowered her attractiveness. Yeah, no, I agree, Ty. And again, like that one scene where she's in her tower, looking down on the rest of the world, talking about how society is terrible. I'm just thinking like, of course the rich person looks down on the rest of the world thinking that it's horrible, when people actually on street level are happy that they have a roof over their head because they're barely making enough money to survive. And they're happy that they don't have to go to a school to find shelter when all hell breaks loose. Yeah, no, man. Nah, like it's just like that one scene for Nagant really just paints her entire character for me, because it's just an issue of this is how rich people look down at anyone that's not rich, and they talk about middle class or lower class problems. Yeah, and now I've cursed my own younger, but Tab is constantly bound to his own quirk. I can only imagine what it would feel like to be the next holder of One for All, cursed to have their own personality lived in this blighted plane of existence for eternity. Yeah, no, when I read that as him being incredibly hammy. I feel like he's just chewing scenery when he's saying that. Like, I actually don't take those lines very seriously. Like, it really just feels like he's taunting. Especially the part, I can only imagine what it would feel like to be the next holder of One for All. He's taunting them. Let's see. You think? Let's see. The case seems like a will manifestation. You think if Starring Strike quirk is broken and is taken by Shigaraki, that we might start suffering the Madara effect? Maybe. Like, one of the ideas here is that if Star and Stripes quirk is taken, then this turns into an issue where the author really wanted to make Izuku the last hero that would actually be good against Shigaraki. Like, he wants to make Izuku the big guy. Something similar happens in Shokugeki no Soma, and this is why Shokugeki no Soma has a really bad ending. Shokugeki no Soma went through the effort of taking out one of Soma's final challenges, and they gave it to the final villain because what they were trying to do there was try and make this kind of gesture that says like, hey, you know, Soma took down this guy that copied the guy that Soma ultimately wanted to take down. And that villain took down the guy that Soma wanted to take down. Therefore, when Soma takes down the guy that took down the one that Soma wanted to take down, Soma had effectively taken down the guy that he wanted to take down by proxy. So when it comes to this situation, if you have Star and Stripe having her quirk taken away, you have a situation where by proxy, Izuku beats the quirk of the strongest woman in the world if Izuku goes up against Shigaraki. Which one is stronger? All for One's obsession with his brother or Toga's obsession with Izuku? All for One's obsession with his brother. Because, like, the man is defying the rules of natural life to go after his brother. If you had to guess, what would you say Stars and Stripes' quirk is? I really think it's reality, like physics negation. I think like this, like someone else said, like she is throwing around her weight. Yeah, no, man. Like this girl at the end of the day is able to stay locked onto jets that are going at who knows how fast. Like she has some high level durability. If not just flat out, it might just be super strength. It might just be plus ultra strength or something like that. But yeah. Let's see. Poor Tamora, if your strength is combined with mine, then I can take it. Then these ghosts from my past victory can finally be put to rest. Oh, that's a good line. That's a good line. He brought, like, yeah, okay. That line actually makes it sound like he has a way of taking out the ghosts. That said, this is still a weird area because it's like, does All for One actually have... Where's the research? How does he know he can kill ghosts? That's what I want to know. Like, how does he know he can do this? This is just weird, isn't it? This is really weird. I mean, like, mind you, it's always been weird because it's like, it's really, it just feels like pseudoscience to say, like, oh, hey, listen, I'm pretty sure if we make a hate factory, we'll be able to overcome this. And it's like, is that how it works? But yeah, that's a good one, White Despair. That's a good one. I think All for One just needs a quirk to regrow that luscious silver fox hair he used to have, and he'll feel much more happier, man. I think so too. The only thing I like about Nagant is the boy toy jokes we were making. She really didn't have a good reason to take him. It was luck when she found out his connection with Izuku. It was. Shigaraki's already teetering on Mada effect already. Snoop Games finally released 3 days. Okay. Just got here. Who's taking down who? Oh, this was about the Soma part. You could be right. It wasn't very clear. Maybe it was his hate manifesting in the vestige world and represented as decay. Well, I'm gonna keep my mind open for that one now that you brought it up. But it's just like it feels so strange to me to say that a physical phenomena can affect ghosts. Like I need this. I really want to understand how All for One thinks he can beat ghosts. Hey, Joe, I didn't see episode 2, not yet, Animamus. He can regrow. Doesn't it have to be something there first? It doesn't seem to me like All for One has much interest in his brother when he attempts to take one for all. He calls the rest a curse and then says he'll. I just don't see. We need a flashback, or the Doctor's research to prove All for One can kill ghosts. Yeah. If her quirk is infinite, potential which allows her to supersede all human body limitations, that'd be crazy. I truly believe her powers, like controlling her own gravity around her body, like increase, would be pretty useful. At the end of the day, Ty, that is like well, that's physics manipulation. So I think it's like a cousin of the one I'm thinking of as well. I mean, in a sense, creating a villain that can't be like Madara and having to find a cheap workaround to beat him. He could go the Avatar way and just remove his quirk, hence removing the itch. Yeah. Any desire to be with, he even says this, it will save us a lot of time if you would hand over the power to me. Oh, that's fair, White Despair. Like, yeah, White Despair, that's ultimately fair. And it does slightly shake me, but I'm gonna go the sentimental route on this one. And if I'm wrong on this one, then, well, I'm wrong and White Despair is right. And then you can hold that over me for the rest of your life. It's crazy that Shigaraki's hate is enough to override the will of 9 other people. It's hard to imagine Shigaraki having a stronger will than All Might and Izuku. Yeah, it is hard to imagine. Star and Stripes' quirk is her American patriotism. Depending on America is how strong she'll be. Holy crap, that would be crazy. If she could control the gravity around her body, then she would be able to fly. She wouldn't need jets. But she might be doing it for rule of cool. You never really know with these people. Since the Digimon in episode is higher level than Clockmon, I was hoping to hear whether people actually thought it was scarier than episode 1. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to watch it either today or tomorrow, so I could probably give you an opinion tomorrow. Or maybe on Thursday. No, Bird, stop. Okay, since let's see. You ever hear about the animation called Mike Tyson? He's able to kill for. Well, no, that's Mike Tyson though. Like, come on, it's Mike. And yes, I have watched it, but it's Mike. Come on, of course Mike can kill ghosts. It's different. Like, no ghost wants to like go up against Mike. No, man. Let's see. A stun generator. Am I paying attention? No, I'm not. Just gonna do stuff. Hey, Padre Nuestre. Let's see. Oh yeah, Animamus. I mentioned it earlier, but it was not as stressful as it usually is. So I'm very happy, and I'm very happy, and it went well. So I'm very happy I came out of that well enough. She could activate feel like my hatred DBZ arc boo arc. For let's see, and Jason's talking to Speed. Huh, I regret using that generator there. That was not the place to use it. Darn. Oh! Hey, Aki. Let's see. Don't the vestiges just enter All For One's vestige plane if he takes them? Well, that's what I would have thought too, but we'll have to see whether or not he can kill ghosts. I mean, I feel like he can probably lock up ghosts. Also, worth pointing out, the vestiges are a recent thing. Like, they only recently became superpowered. Remember what the vestiges said? That they only really got to hang out because All For One's interference? Like, does All For One actually have the ability to be able to adapt to the vestiges evolving past the point of singularity here? Like, there's a lot of weird things going on in this whole situation, such as, again, the ever-changing battlefield. This feels a little bit convoluted, sorry, not convoluted, a little bit contrived. It feels a little bit contrived here to say that All For One knows what to do with an ever-evolving situation. Like, I just don't fully understand how, if these vestiges are becoming even stronger, how All For One thinks he can still operate on old knowledge. It's weird. The second Star and Stripe came in contact. I was, she's just going to get her OP quirk stolen and get claw slapped. Now, speaking of that, Aki, like, I'm really thinking, like, I really hope this girl, this poor lady, doesn't get off-screened. Like, mind you, with last week's, the editor note, it makes it feel like she has an opportunity here to survive. But, man, I don't know. I kind of shift on it every other day. I really hope she doesn't get screwed over. Let's see. Shigaraki having greater will than 9 people. The Japanese believe salt can kill ghosts. If a seasoning can do that, I'm sure All For One's got something in his cupboard to do the job. Man, the man brings salt out. Yo, if the author goes into good old yokai logic to try and justify this, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be interested. If he says that All For One and One For All run on yokai rules, then I'm in. 100%. I'm just totally in. Does Shigi even need any extra quirks at the moment? Like, I'm pretty sure no one thought 100% Shigi was weak and needed help. Honestly, like, we know how this works. Oh, my voice broke. We know how this works. If Shigaraki is augmented the way he is, like, super strength supersedes so much. Like, honestly, with just super strength and regen, Shigaraki can do anything he wants. Like, we already saw it. What happens when Aizawa just cancels out the quirks? Shigaraki's still a monster. So, yeah. I think the only way to really make Shigaraki more powerful beyond just the regen and the augmented strength is to give him reality warping quirks at this point. And I guess utility quirks are probably like the good ones, but if there's a quirk that lets him do something stupid like rewind or even overhaul's quirk, you know, those are the quirks that I think really help Shigaraki out more than anything else. But right now, this guy takes out probably the majority of the heroes in Japan. Honestly, though, Shigaraki probably should have killed Endeavor when he got the chance. Like, you know that moment when he was standing on Endeavor's body? He really should have just kicked a hole through Endeavor's chest and just called it there. I mean, if Shigaraki went in for a few more kills there, I think things would have been a lot better for him now. Ty said, favorite moment from Mike Tyson is when Pigeon said, didn't that scare you when Mac was going to beat the crap out of you? He could kill all of us. Sometimes we forget. That's my... I remember that line, Ty. Yeah, he could kill everyone. White Despair says. A little bit contrived, you say? Personally, I think everything All For One has done has been extremely contrived. So why didn't All For One go after All Might when he was weaker? Since he would organizing his. Sorry, Chris, I didn't read this right. Why didn't All For One go after All Might when he was weaker? Since he had world organizing under his control, then he could have had his midterm goal, then focus on his long-term goal of ruling. Yeah, no, Chris, I really don't think we should be really looking at any world building details that are told to us at the 11th hour. World building details at the 11th hour are some of the worst details to ever try to make sense of. I really don't think we should be taking anything here seriously because I think this is already there's a lot of really sketchy things going on with introducing these details at the last minute. Yeah, why didn't All For One, if he has friends in America, why didn't he have them help him out with All Might? I don't know, like All For One, All For One might be like some kind of Japanese nature god. He can't leave Japan or something by this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a quirk that locks him to the Japan shoreline or something. Heck, he actually might be a yokai at this point. Actually, with that face, I don't even think the yokai want him. This makes me want to see someone with a ghost supernatural quirk. Imagine if a quirk can make ghosts manifest into the real world. Maybe All For One's killing ghost statement can be proven. That'd be good. Aqua is a goddess and she throws salt all the time. You're overestimating ghosts in the otaku world. Trip's second puberty. Yo, my 5th puberty never ended. BC theory... Oh, Black Clover theory. Asta's devil is actually Jibril. Or as we in the West would have known, Gabriel. Revelations 20:1-2 would make Asta catch up to Yuno's crazy power-ups. Oh, okay. I believe either Stars and Stripes is like Geno's to All Might Saitama, or his real secret love child. If not, hope Todoroki brings it up. Came down to fight the devil and got trapped in hell. The thing is, we don't even know all the quirks All For One had. Hody could have written a utility quirks he wanted to have. He didn't need to introduce Star and Stripe, plus Shigaraki has decay. The answer is just that All For One's an idiot. Yes, White Despair. Oh, I love it. I love that. Shigaraki's a punk, got handed stuff by All For One and was born with the quirk. Yeah, I agree. Like he's a kid that stands on the shoulder of giants and then thinks he's that tall. I still think Asta current transformation is so strong. Yuno needed that power up. Can Endeavor even help now after all this traveling and being above water? I don't know. Like this is gonna be like one of those plus ultra moments. Like I don't know about Endeavor's endurance when he's going into Sea Breeze, because in my mind, Sea Breeze might be able to cool him down a little bit, so he might be able to actually fight for longer if he's getting hit by the Sea Breeze. But I don't know if he can do a high altitude fight. Still wondering where All For One didn't take overall's quirk, unless he loves looking like Slender Man, which I'm starting to realize. I think All For One has a limit of 20 quirks. Oh, 20 quirks. Well, that's interesting. Any reason for that number? Speed? Or is it just like, that number feels good? And yo, if you pick the number just because it feels good, like I can't really complain about that criteria. I really should level up more of these people. But who cares, right? Why bother leveling them up? Okay, I'm gonna go level them up. Probably should level them up. Guys, I also got a 5-star character. Mostly because I did like the beginners thing. But I'm interested in just using the weak characters, because people always say that the game can be done with weak characters. Yo, White Despair, I would really like that approach for that one. Like, for me, I can only tell you my wish fulfillments here, or like the wish I have is that Star and Stripe gets out of this without losing her quirk. She isn't a plot device, and she didn't screw everyone over. So I'm just hoping that this is a victory here. Like, show that Shigaraki's powerful, but don't have him do anything too insane. Like, I think that's fair. And again, if you want to take away the quirk, if you have them have a second fight later in the series, I think that would be quite alright. Because then I would be like, okay, yeah, Star and Stripe, she did her work. This was a really hard situation. And so, yeah, like everyone put in their effort. Star and Stripe did her effort, put in her best effort to not get screwed over, and Shigaraki put in his best effort to screw her over. Like, ideally, no matter what, I want to be able to say that, okay, yeah, these guys put in their effort. I could see that this was very hard, and the dumbest thing here was Star and Stripe approaching Japan. But what could she do? She didn't really know that she was being targeted. Personally, okay, I got that. I feel he needs a limit because of quirk singularity. Yeah, I think so too, but I think that might be an issue of complex quirks. I think if he has a bunch of simple quirks, I think he doesn't really care too much. I have to think too that maybe having regen lets him get away with a few more things. What do you think about the potential ending of Izuku reaching a hand out to a berserking out of control Shigaraki and both of them having a vestige where Izuku saves and they both decay away? Oh, this is One Love. So I don't think Izuku's gonna die, but vestiges decaying away, I do think like All for One's vestige might get wiped out by the vestiges self-destructing on him, because that feels like an appropriate type ending, just to give All for One closure. But for Izuku, I don't think Izuku is going to go down that particular way. We know that Asta Devil unit is complete. I honestly want to see Asta being able to use telekinesis on the swords like Lieb did in their fight in the Devil Binding Ritual. That'd be cool. The revival place I go to shows anime on a couple of their screens. Oh, okay. Huh. Gran Torino mentioned he had a different loadout. So he must have a limit, or why wouldn't have all the quirks from the doctor's lab all at once? That's a good point. He must have a limit then. I think there's a very small... She loses her quirk, and personally I don't think there's any chance she dies. Either the fight ends just before she loses her quirk, or right after she loses her quirk, but before she dies. I agree. I don't think that girl's dying. I think she's too useful for the story. I don't think she's dying. I based it off of Nine's amount, and I thought it should be at least double his, and thought of a plausible number of powers for an author to write in a story. Okay, that's a pretty good calculation there, Speed. Izuku was fighting tooth and nail for days or weeks to find All for One, and Shigaraki as well as fighting escapees. Imagine him walking up to his classmates that tell him about a fun concert. How do you think Izuku will react to this? Oh, okay, there we go. Not walking up. Imagine him waking up to his classmates, excitedly telling him about a fun concert. I don't know, because like Izuku might be so neutered right now that he thinks he can't say anything to them. Like he thinks he can't berate them for terrible ideas. Like quite literally, people are out there suffering and crying, and they want to just put on a concert for the people who are already safe, or like have an idea for that. Like, I don't know, man. I would be bothered. I'd be like, are you taking this seriously or not? Like, come on. This is serious. We can't stop. But maybe I'm too aggressive. You never really know. I think that's what I'm gonna do here. Put my mage out. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, someone got through. Well, quite a few of them got through. That's unfortunate. Probably put a guard up. Probably put that person here too. We can put one more person on the field. It's gonna have to be a medic. There we go. Can I look away now? Let's see. I will be so happy to see Shigaraki finds Cry if he stays All for One's pawn. Me too. I just don't think there's any chance that she dies before we find out. Small chance she loses her quirk back to 0 since she... Oh yeah, no, I agree with that, White Despair. Where's my mouse? God, there you are. Lots of chaos here. Oh, oops. God, where's the mouse again? Where are you, mouse? Ah, there you are. Boom goes the thing. Did I kill anything? No, I didn't. That was a waste of time. Alright. I honestly don't have that much hope for Star. My guess is that she loses, get her quirk stolen, doesn't die, so that if things go bad, she can be on our way of getting out of Japan. And it's given to another. But it all depends on whether Hody wants to go full international, which I really doubt. Well, remember, he also thought the story was going to end in 5 volumes, so I doubt you're going full international into 5 volumes. Star and Stripes' connection is the only thing keeping her alive, in my opinion. There's a history we all want to see, especially a reunion. I agree with that. It's given to the middle. Let's see. And I will be so happy to see All For One if Shigaraki breaks free and kills All For One. Well, like, I think, again, my opinion, like, Shigaraki's going to kill All For One, and then the vestige gets supercharged. Maybe they're depressed at all the heavily censored anime they're forced to show. There's always getting the Blu-ray or DVD copies. Is SNS essentially Shigi's Lady Nagant equivalent? Ah, One Love. Someone asked that earlier. Maybe. They do not need to do a concert. They just need to do a little happy, go sing along to lift their spirits a little. I put Halloween, Rhea, and... Oh, nice. I feel full international would just be dragging the story out. I think so as well. But, like, full international is good for if you want to do spin-off material, right? And that's probably where you get full international. Thank God I can read at 8 times the speed. And also, Genshin's Impact had their update today, but my PS4 is going to take 6 hours to download, so that's why we're not playing Genshin today. Yay, we got a character. Oh, we already have that character. That's okay. Nice. What time is it? Yeah, okay, I'll probably go for a little bit longer. Probably finish these up. Anyway, I also saw for Genshin that there were some leaks that are saying that one of the early leaks from I think 2 months ago about Child in that game potentially dying or potentially getting like super screwed up are probably going to come true. Oh, they announced a new GeoDaddy? Oh yeah, man, like Ito, right? Yeah, man, he was coming up on the leak site a few days before the official reveal, and it's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. When I saw him, I was like, oh, I might pull for him. I might. He might make me think like I kind of have to have him, but Yai I think is gonna be so close that I don't think I want to spend fates on him. So we'll have to see how this goes for me. Okay, she's pretty cool. In a very common, Vader was building his own army in secret. Well, Puppy found out, but his reaction was not what you. He was proud, like that's my boy. Okay. Wait, what? Nerl is a centaur waifu. I'm very curious to see Shigaraki's mental state in these upcoming. The spoilers made it sound like he was potentially having a crisis of identity. However, the officials don't really portray that. I agree. It doesn't really portray that. I think. Who knows? Who knows? Like, All For One might be encouraging him to hate him anyway, right? Ah, yeah, random. I saw the first episode of World Trigger. I say the key factor is, did the 3 days come already? Because if he's 100%, she shouldn't be able to touch him. But if he isn't complete and through an epic battle his body breaks down again for a retreat, I don't think the 3 days are here yet. Yeah, Yai is not in 2.3 because that's going to be Ito's. But the leaks are saying that Yai is either 2.4 or 2.5. Ito had the potential to be 2.3, and so then now he is going to be 2.3. But I want to be able to save up a lot because I think if Yai comes, there's also the issue of Shen He, because Shen He is showing up now in the voice lines. So Shen He is in the wings pretty much coming in with I think another Leeway character just from the leaks. So just given that these characters are popping in, I want to be ready just in case Yai comes and then another girl comes right behind her. My theory for Shigaraki in prison cell and quirkless back being normal human crying. Oh, hey Miguel. Saw Mishuko and also the Kimetsu Train arc anime adaptation. Nice, nice, nice. Is the 38 days a bluff? Well, at this point, it's either 38 days or it's either 60 days. The 38 days might not be a bluff if All For One feels he can put out Shigaraki at 38 days or at 35 days. That's probably the better number to say. Let's see. Who do I put out here? So, the vanguards are out. Oh, good God. Yeah, I still think left before he reaches. With this in mind, I find it hilarious that All For One says that they won the game of hide and seek when they're still technically. Not only that, but he even reveals. I'm starting to think All For One doesn't know how hide and seek works. I mean, if All For One knows that Izuku's resting, he might know. Like he might feel confident, but I don't know, man. Like things get complicated when All For One's talking, because you never really know with that guy. Oh, good God. That is not good for me. So let's see. Put that there. Oh, she's gonna assassinate me. This is gonna suck. Yeah, I think I probably should have thought that one through a little bit more. Oh, oops. Forgot I had this. Probably need a medic out here. All right. I think that'll work. Any hoosers. Gonna call it early. Interference from the workout fit. Sarcasm start or dropping quick. All right. Good night, Tallow Man. And yeah, you'll probably see an email from me tomorrow morning. Have a good night, man. If 3 days didn't happen, I see Horikoshi using it as a way to spare Star and Stripes. I do see her being very damaged. Horikoshi loves battle damage waifu. Oh yeah, he does. If we get battle damage, I'll be like, all right, that'll be pretty worthwhile. Honestly, I think. Oh, did I lose it? Dang it. Did you see the Chinese thing that they want to ban basically male characters? Oh yeah, Miguel, I saw that a while ago. Any favorites in Arknights? No, I don't think so just yet. Not yet. I also just noticed that the only And not only is All For One sitting on some sort of chair, he also seems to have pasted some sort of blanket or tarp underneath it. You can see it on page 3. Ah, yes. I saw something weird there. Could be a mat to wipe his feet. Just messing with you. I thought that was his portent about having a fancy carpet. I really just thought it was just shittiness. I just thought it was like, alright, just junk. Trip, did you check out the amazing animated test? No, I'm not checking that out, man. You watched this for me. You told me it was comparable to that last one. I'm not watching that, man. No. Good night, Matt. I bet Ichigo dad. I don't know, John. I think Rangiku was kind of younger back then. Nah, she might have been. Like, she seems like the kind of girl that was too interested in Gin to be that way. She had a lot of people simping for her, but she never really seemed to be returning things. One Love asks, am I dumb or did a lot of people get mixed up with All For One's hide and seek dialogue thinking that he's hiding on an island? I thought the island he was referring to was Japan. It's Japan. He's referring to Japan. He's hiding on Japan. He's a landlocked spirit. Yeah, no, that's the read. He's on an island nation. It's Japan. God, it's one thing to have All For One talk in riddles. It's another thing for the Hero Academia fandom to not be able to understand anything. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. That's one through. It's too bad. That's a lot. That's a lot of them coming through now. Better put the medic out. Oh man, Skell, stop, man. I know, I'm a chump, alright? I know. I know I could stand to be better. I know I'm not. That might have been the worst placement to put her on. Oh, come on. Where's my mouse? Damn it, I already screwed up. So basic. I'm so weak. I need to work on this. I'm clearly not strategic enough. Oh yeah, that's just completely botched. That was a botch. Okay, that was a full-on botch. Just let that run through. Anyway, I really hope that Star's quirk isn't that OP, because if it is, she is gonna be OP, and we're gonna have Bleach ending all over again. Aki, I don't know how to tell you that it's probably OP, given that All For One is saying that this one quirk is gonna shift the war into his favor. So thoughts of Sanji changing the latest One Piece chapters? I thought it was happening random, so I'm very excited for it because I thought this was what we were gonna get, and I'm happy that it's actually happening here. I'd love to know how Judge is gonna feel about this. Also, I can't quite toughen Pal, but it appears that the chair is actually All For One's life support system. Either he has the machine hidden behind a chair. I think he has it attached to the chair. I don't think the chair itself is a life support. I just think it has a nice life support holder. I also find it funny that every My Hero Academia reviewer thinks Stars and Stripes is done. Oh, I don't. I mean, like, when it comes to Stars and Stripes, like it's all about options, right? I am gonna make a video about this. Hopefully, if I get time tomorrow, because it should be easy. But there are options, and like the first option, when it comes to what could happen with Stars and Stripe, is just power exposition, right? And if you do just a power exposition fight without any clear winner, all you really understand is, oh, okay, this is like the level that Shigaraki's at, and look, this is the level that Star and Stripe is at. If you have Star and Stripe losing her quirk, then you go down the route of Izuku is the one and only true god in this world. Because Star and Stripe losing her quirk is just a way of bolstering Shigaraki. And that'd be really cheap. Like, honestly, I know the story wants to be about Izuku, but you don't have to bend it in that particular direction. And then if you have Star and Stripe winning, just barely, and you have Shigaraki having to retreat, it's like, oh my god, like this girl, if Shigaraki's at 100%, it would be bad. Like, we are actually in a danger zone here. So it's always an issue of options. This is something I said in the video, but I'm really concerned about Star and Stripe. I really don't want it to be screwed over just because the author wants to make a big statement about how strong Shigaraki is, or how amazing Izuku's going to be when he takes her down. And again, my ultimate compromise is, if you want to take her quirk, do it like in round 2. Don't do it on this first one, because the way you introduce her, if you introduce her just to fail and make things worse, that's pretty dumb. So that's why I'd rather her have a good show here. And really, when it comes to stealing that quirk, if Shigaraki steals that quirk after a lot of effort and it requires a lot of good luck to actually get that quirk stolen, like if All For One shows up all of a sudden just because it's All For One, then alright, that's pretty worthwhile. Actually, worth talking about it, because this is probably the place that it's going to happen. We might get Loser's Consolation. And Loser's Consolation, or the Loser's Consolation Prize, you guys know what this is. It's pretty much when a character loses, but there's a statement that said about how amazing that character's loss was. Like the last time that this happened, it was like with Momo's fight of Momo. Well, not last time it happened, but like one of the notable ones I have in the top of my head is like Momo loses, and then Kendo's like, "Oh, I don't feel like I won, even though I was able to counter her moves by relying on my team and doing what I was supposed to do. I feel like I didn't win because I wasn't able to do things by myself. And, you know, like, I don't feel like I've beaten her because the actual human computer was able to outprocess my feeble human mind." So it's things like that. Like if Buddy Girl there goes down, I'm gonna really hate getting any kind of loser consolation here of like, oh my god, this fight was so hardcore, and even though she lost, she was able to injure Shigaraki the most that anyone had ever been able to injure him, even injuring him despite regen or something like that. Like, a loser's consolation is just that. It's just something to tell you, like, oh, this guy wasn't a total chump. But it's pretty lame. Hopefully we don't get any kind of loser consolation. Also, hopefully we don't get a loser consolation on Shigaraki's side of Buddy Girl telling him, like, oh my gosh, you are the only one that's actually ever removed a limb from my body. And it's like, well, yes, we can kind of figure out that he's the only one that's ever done extreme damage to you. It's Shigaraki. He has a one-hit kill. But okay. Yeah, it's just... that's just one of the issues. Just hopefully we don't deal with a loser's consolation. Maybe a quirk is solar. I mean, the sun is a star. Superman takes his power from the sun. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if that'd be funny if it is. Star and Stripe. It might really be patriotism. But yeah, if her quirk is solar energy, then okay. I don't think she's gonna be better than Escanor. Also, King of Lightning saw the ending of My Hero Academia Season 5. He's a big fan of Redestro, Sanji voice actor. Reaction, Awaken Shigaraki was funny for being an anime only. Okay. Hyper Spinner potentially getting more focus. Does this mean new quirk awakening? Or maybe we can bring back the Spinner Nomu theory from way back? I think, yeah. Like, if All For One gets desperate, he turns Spinner into a Nomu. But yeah, Spinner might get a quirk from All For One as a gift. Is All For One getting the Star and Stripes quirk, or is it Shigi getting the quirks for himself? Well, Chris, that itself is the subject of debate. Like, at this point, I think if Shigaraki gets the quirk, All For One's going to be like, yes, I have the quirk, because I see that in him. He might be thinking he's going to take it himself. It all depends, right? Like, All For One seems like he just wants to let Shigaraki do the heavy lifting here. So we'll have to see how this goes. At the end of the day, like, what despair, this is something that I think I need to make sure that you acknowledge. All For One's talking like he's going to be telling Shigaraki what to do. Or at the very least, All For One's talking like he's going to be the guiding hand behind Shigaraki. And I say guiding hand because he might still be a backseat mentor like he was in the first half of Hero Academia. Where he's like, oh yeah, hey Spinner, like you and Shigaraki support him. And because that's you guys are going to be doing cool stuff. Mind you, it's kind of interesting that All For One doesn't need Spinner to bodyguard him anymore, but yeah, sacrificing a character to just make a villain look even more P. Since Star and Stripe is the #1 hero, it wouldn't be weird for her to have an absolutely broken power. I'm hoping for reality warping. I mean, Shigaraki would know her weaknesses with search, so she's a woman in My Academia. Having Shigaraki gonna kill my enjoyment. I just thought of one detail that might smooth my entire prediction that All For One will warp tomorrow back when. How would All For One even know they show up unless All For One is on the phone with Shigaraki? Then he can't know what's going on. Yeah, unless the quirk is supercharged, or unless Shigaraki has an earpiece that he can communicate through. If she gets sacrificed, or Skeptic is watching the fight through his satellites and has a satellite uplink to All For One and can inform All For One when Shigaraki goes down. Like, there's a lot of ways to finagle this. If she gets sacrificed as a character, I don't think I can honestly say I really want to read on My Hero. Just wait for the end of the story just to know the ending when it gets there. If there's no loser constellation, how would you like it to end? One of them dying or being near death? Pretty much the way that I want it to end is no clear winner. I think that's the safest way to preserve both characters. Because that way, like, the problem with the loser's constellation is that it's there just to make the other person seem credible, even though you pretty much just busted them. It's a way to save face, and that's why I really want to avoid it. If you have a situation where both of them are at a standstill and they have to retreat, then great. Nothing bad has really occurred in this situation, because you saw how hard they fought to get to the standstill. Like, there's no clear one is better than the other, so there's no clear I have to save face for the character. It's just like Loser's Constellation is just so bad. Like, I remember there was this one comic way back when, Girls of the Wilds High School, like, it was a Korean one. And this is another example of it, where the main character is just a really wimpy guy, and he gets beaten up a lot. And in one of the fights where he gets beaten up, like, the guy goes down like a chump, and then his opponent's like, yeah, even though I beat him, the entire time, he never once stopped looking at my fist, which is just there to say, like, oh my god, he was following my movements the entire time. Yes, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It legitimately doesn't matter, other than saying, like, oh yeah, like, he'll be stronger in the future, but it's like, it legitimately doesn't matter. He lost. It's just annoying when it happens, because it's just like, oh no, we gotta... Sometimes it makes sense, because you have to show that a character is going to have more room to grow. But this really makes more sense at the beginning of a series, and not when it's completely asinine, like with Kendo and Momo. Yeah, if she gets sacrificed... Let's see. But yeah, I really think, Kayla, that the best option here is to just have them both retreat from this one and not have a conclusive fight. I think that's the best option. And of course, if you just flat out avoid... If you go down the Star gets her quirk stolen route, you can do that in a way without Loser Constellation, because you can have All For One play a cheap trick. If you play a cheap trick, Loser's Constellation doesn't have to happen, because you have the excuse, this was a cheap trick. And then if All For One has to play a cheap trick to get the quirk from Star and Stripe, that in of itself is saying like, okay, All For One's going really aggressive on this. If All For One pulls a maneuver that none of us saw coming, then props to the author, because that is a lot of effort going into the situation to make this work. Yeah, like there's options here that work well without having to save face in a really aggressive and kind of condescending way. Star and Strike quirk is so crazy that we're overthinking it. It's probably the simplest quirk ever. Yeah, it might just be super strength. Defeating someone after introduction is pretty bad, especially how hyped up she is. At least there for a second fight. If it's off screen, I may really be annoyed. Shigaraki every do is not earned. I imagine that Hody would have it so she fights for long enough for backup to show up, and for All For One to have Shigaraki retreat, which he may or may not refuse, which will feed into his "who am I" thing. Yeah. Also, with the reason I see Alon theorize that, I quote, Spinner will soon realize the league doesn't value Stain's ideal and will thus betray them. But Spinner already knows this. Spinner already knows that they don't value Stain's ideals, and he's decided to follow Shigaraki. We've already seen this. Kengan has kind of started doing the same thing at the moment, where the main villain is grooming a student and attempting to live reincarnate into them. Nice. Is this part of the? Is this right now happening with the tournament that Kengan's doing? Like, what is the tournament right now, Skelly? It's like the Kengan Association versus some other underground fight club or something. I don't know about the fridge trope. What quirk would All For One give Spinner if he's normal-fied? Does Shigi react? I think Shigi reacts. I think Toka reacts. Also, you think Shigi knows about twice? I think so. Extra, I'm gonna have to do. First, I find this chapter more so puts Shigaraki in charge. It's clear that All For One has plans, but ordering Tamura around doesn't seem to be part of those plans, at least in this chapter. We have All For One saying that Spinner will support in the crusade. We also have Liberation Army saying once Tamura has destroyed all, we shall sow the seeds. I agree that Shigaraki doing its more. However, oh, see a random. Yeah, Kengan versus Purgatory. No, White Despair. I think I also mentioned that guiding him like the like he did at the beginning of the series. Like, guiding isn't the same as ordering. Comes to saying that All For One will be ordering Tamura to do stuff. I don't think this chapter actually. It's very possible, but I don't think this chapter itself supports that. You know, again, there's also just again worth keeping in mind that All For One might be speaking in niceties. He might be downplaying the terrible things that he's actually planning here. But no, earlier I mentioned I switched my words to guiding in a similar way that he did in the beginning of the series or in the first half of the series. So just let me know if you missed that part, White Despair, or if you're addressing that part as well. Because I think guiding is a lot more fair given the stuff that we've seen here. In terms of like the semantics. I think at this point, what is clear is that there is some level of cooperation going on between All For One. It's likely that All For One told Shigaraki what exactly Star and Stripe means to this entire situation, and it's likely that All For One gave Shigaraki that information to act on, right? And at the end of the day, like, All For One can still manipulate Shigaraki without telling him what to do. Like, if All For One's smart, he can just give Shigaraki certain bits of information that he knows Shigaraki's going to act on. Because Shigaraki isn't that smart in of himself. Like, Shigaraki, again, is a little kid playing with a guy with dementia, but a guy that's been around for like 100 years. But mostly a guy with dementia. Really can't understate I can't understate the dementia. So, Vanguards. Tallow, man, you always just get me, man. Okay, that'll have to do. Oh, where's the mouse? There it is. How do I want to deal with this? That's probably the best way of doing it. Probably put these guys here so I can heal. Okay. Now I gotta deal with this girl. Hopefully this time I'll be able to stop her. Let's see. Did I miss it again? I think I did. Okay, there we lost one person there. Now death is just coming. Okay, that'll have to do. Let's see. Tiger Nico up here and tried to bait Kengan team into fighting him. Oh, okay. There's also if off one's smart. There's the line. Wait, is the most important role holding within narrative outside of? It's that's the problem too. Like in terms of important roles for Star and Stripe, you can do a few things. Like it's the 11th hour. You're in the final act. What kind of information can you really give about All Might that's going to be relevant and worthwhile? I really can't tell you honestly. But like she's information about All Might. If she keeps her quirk, she's pretty much another body on the battlefield. At the end of the day, she can take on Nomu. Like she can help the effort if she keeps her quirk, and if she keeps her quirk, the war continues being, as All For One said, not a formality. A guy with dementia plays with children. Yeah, between Tamura and All For One, I think All For One is the more childish of the two. Okay, yeah, but Tamura is also a man-child, man. Like, at least All For One has no problem running around with undead toys. Like, at least All For One's machinations end up crossing the lines of natural order. Oh, Viz! I managed to get Child really early. It's only been 9 wishes since I got Raiden, and I somehow managed to win the 50-50. Nice! Viz! Nice! Honestly, I think the Vestiges need to teach Izuku how to deal with All For One's taunting. Izuku is smart and strong-willed, but I think it'll help more since he had both All Might and All For One's. You're next in his mind, yeah. It's very weird that All For One uses Boku as a pronoun, as that's used by kids and not adults. It shows that All For One hasn't grown up and still has the mind of a child. Well, that's a really good observation. I mean, yeah, I feel like he is kind of stuck. I mean, I do think he's still very stuck on his brother. And I mean, to be unable to finish reading a comic, that says a lot about you, man. Also from the hero side, other than the big 3, the teachers and 13, what other pros do you think haven't quit yet? I don't think the Pussycats quit. They're probably still in. Ryukyu is an interesting situation. She might have quit or retired. There's just not that many pro heroes. Rocklock is still going in, most likely. Manual is probably still going in, because they just saw how little people get to make a giant difference. They're probably still going. Yeah, in terms of pro heroes, I don't know. Gang Orca's probably still in, because that's a legacy character for Horikoshi. Oh, yeah, no, wait, I know which ones you're talking about. Don't worry. I'm just thinking, like, the Nomu themselves, I feel like they are kind of toys as well to All For One. I mean, at the end of the day, to be the kind of guy that surrounds yourself with these giant hulking monsters, and you're sitting on a broken throne, like, yeah, you have to be seeing those things in a weird way. I do think the Nomu are just giant toys. Like, really, I made the joke during one of the videos, but All For One is a gacha collector. He's a guy that likes collecting his quirks. He wants that super sweet SSR and UR. He wants to get these quirks. He just can't live without completing his collections, right? So In that sense, he's quite childlike. Neat. Got that. But yeah, I'm aware. White Despair, did you see the recent line that All For One had about the thing that they were looking for in the recent chapter of Vigilantes? You know, just when I saw it, I just thought of you kind of thing, just because it's always talking about what... it's just touching on what we're talking about here, because it just talks about what exactly All For One wants. Let me see if I can draw it up in case you haven't read it. Where are you? Ah, yeah, here we go. This is All For One talking about Subject 6. I disagree, he's marvelous. This little one is an unbridled lump of potential, possibly even the twisted entity we seek, given a strong enough impetus. Yeah, he's ready to be kneaded like a wad of clay for whatever form I desire. So, yeah, you know, when you have All For One talking here, it's like, okay, yeah, he definitely wants the twisted entity that will be a hate factory, right? It's just so fun. One of the interesting things here is that the way that he's talking about this twisted entity, it kind of says that he didn't really see... It kind of says that he didn't really have Shigaraki set from the very beginning in terms of being the twisted entity. But then again, we don't really know the timeline on that flashback, right? Ah, excellent, White Despair, you read it. Where's Mirko? She's gearing up to go back onto the battlefield. So you think All For One consider Gigantomachia? Just asking, since the Nomu were based off of Gigantomachia. I mean, he might legitimately consider him a toy. Like, just like a really sophisticated toy, right? I mean, if you think about it from the perspective of a pawn, it's not that big of a jump to go from a pawn and still have some level of humanity attached to the idea to just, you are a piece on a board. You are essentially a toy, because a chess piece is a toy. It is a piece of a game. So it really depends on how he wants to distance himself from the things. This is probably one of those things where we need to see how he thinks about the world. Because if he sees everything else as toys, he doesn't care about what he does to his toys. Because like, if I have an action figure and I modify it to be cooler, yeah, I'm not going to really care too much about the state of the action figure. I'm making it cooler. Like, if I have a bunch of Bionicles and I'm putting them together, you know, I can more easily infringe on their rights as humans if I take away some degree of their humanity. So it all depends on the perspective game. Like, if the author wants to go in and say that All For One likes or sees people as toys, that perspective works well with what he ultimately ends up doing in the series. I think, let me think just to make sure. He might also see Makia as a useful pet. Mind you, he might also use flowery language and not say it out loud that they're toys, but deep inside he might see them as toys. So I really do hope we get some kind of internal monologue from All For One, just kind of giving us his modus operandi, why he did things the way he did. You think we'll see a hero using the drug trigger and desperation move against a villain or Shigaraki? If so, what hero? I think Trigger should be on the table for everyone, because Trigger, from what we have seen in the current iteration, doesn't seem to have that many side effects. So I would say, yeah, I think it should be anyone that goes ahead and uses it. Heck, maybe Best Jeanist. Give himself some better, give himself the ability to be able to capture Dobby in his own clothing with while also trying to capture Makia or something like that. So basically, All For One is Sid from Toy Stories. I mean, I still think All For One's a loser. I think he was a loser in his past life, and now he's had friends for the first time. Friends. And now he just wants to go... He's a lot of things. He's like a Pokemon card collector, too. Is Fat Gum still in it? Probably. Personally, I found a lot of the stuff with... For instance, we now know that the O'Clock Vestige thing, 6 Seeds, is actually just Six's imagination. See, me personally, I never thought that was a vestige. I thought that was Six's imagination the entire time. So, And the reason I didn't think it was a vestige is because the vestige would not be helping him. So I'm happy that that got more or less like thrown out of the gate, because it didn't make sense to me that a vestige of a good person would be working there. And mind you, then it becomes like, oh, but he's making a lot of really good observations about the crawler. I don't know. Like, that might just be a Chuni's mind being hyperactive. And he might be lucking in onto some he might be lucking in onto some conclusions. But yeah, no, that whole vestige thing, to me, that I was happy. I was happy because I never thought it was a vestige. It doesn't make any sense that would be a vestige. But I would really like to know what you found weird with the All for One stuff, White Despair. Like, talk to me about it, man. And then, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock for me. Like, I'll go like 10 more minutes. And then we'll call it there, and then we'll go to sleep. We have to be ready for tomorrow night, because tomorrow night's probably going to be a long one. I'm thinking that Atsushi's probably going to give us that spoiler relatively late. Because who knows? One Piece is on break here, so it's really hard to tell what exactly is going on. Like, we don't know if the volumes are already out there in the wild. Like, I'll go check the Shonen Jump table of contents. Also, I think this is the week that Red Hood should be ending. So we'll have to see. Actually, no. It doesn't seem that there's any new series coming up, so Red Hood should still be alive for a little bit longer, I think. Yeah, there's still no new series coming, so Red Hood should be alive. If Red Hood gets killed here, that'll be pretty interesting. Yep, no. Got no information, so I can't really check to see what information's good here. Yep, no. Can't see anything here. Okay, going back to the comments. No way the real would behave like that. Dark Shadow on Trigger would be insane, especially at night. Seemed to disprove that, but now we're just back to it being his... I initially thought it was just 6, but then in the last 2 chapters, the vestige started... But then in the last 2 chapters, the vestige stopped acting like o'clock, but then suddenly started acting like all for one out of nowhere, which seemed to disprove that, but now we're back to it just being his imagination. I mean, maybe Neru first. Nah, distorted. It won't be Neru first because Red Hood was failing for longer. Like, those series tend to go out in the order they came in, so I doubt Red Hood's gonna be saved. Like, it's just a stinker. It goes straight to the bottom. Most weeks... Yeah, no, most weeks it's Red Hood at the bottom. Red Hood's out. You just have to wait for the next new series to kill it. I do wonder what the next new series is gonna be, but... Looking at the other ones... It's going to be interesting. We really don't have another big battle shonen. Like, Undead Unluck is never going to hit the levels of the battle shonen that Shonen Jump needs, because Undead Unluck is a little bit strange. Witch Watch had an opportunity, but Witch Watch is going to be it gets better series because it starts off too gaggy, and it switched over to battle shonen, and God, I don't even know what this 5P thing is. It's just obnoxious. I don't want to read it. If I can't pronounce it, I don't want to read it. Blue Box is good, though, right? Sakamoto Days, I think it's high quality, but I'm not sure if it'll be sensational enough. Kind of depends on what adaptation it would be given. And then Yozakura Family. Yozakura Family isn't going to give Shonen Jump what it wants, because Yozakura Family is too much like Katekyo Hitman Reborn. It started off too different than what it warped into, which is unfortunate. They really should have just gone battle shonen from the beginning instead of doing gag manga at the beginning. Imagine trigger plus the quirk amplification device. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, that was my base. Anyway, I think White Despair is done. We'll be done in 7 minutes. And then I'll start saying the goodbyes in a bit, and then we'll call it a night. Yeah, Blue... Oh, Anime Miss Blue Box. Nice, 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 nice. I haven't started reading it yet. I know people always recommend it, but I always take my time with the romance ones. Skell, do you do this, like, this infinite fight type thing? If you're still there? Or not infinite fight, but you know, it's like 400 monsters you have to beat. It's pretty much infinite. What do you think of the new 3D style in Dragon Ball Super movie trailer? Man, it's gonna be something to get used to. It's gonna be something to get used to. I don't know. Like, mind you, I've seen Toei's CG before. I know they can do good CG, so I'm not really concerned there. It's just a style to get used to. I like the original way of doing things, but you know, what can you do? Okay. Who do I want to put out here? Oh. No. Hmm. Hmm. Let me put this girl out. Sorry, man. I don't know how to call it. Annihilation fights? Yeah, the Annihilations. Will they cancel a manga without a volume release even? Yes. Yes, they will. They 100% will. Just to give you the example, I think the best example that we have here is, like, Shonen Jump is pretty cutthroat. So this is always an issue. This is now a place that I have to be really careful when I'm talking about it. So just to give you the example, Red Hood's at chapter 14. Just so you know how cutthroat Shonen Jump has been in the past. Blood Oath ended at 18. Time Paradox Ghost Rider ended at 14. Bone Collection ended at 15. Guardian of the Witch 19. Zipman 17. Like, it's rough. It's rough. If there's a big slate of new series coming, some series get cut really early. Time Paradox Ghost Rider was an interesting situation just because that one stunk immediately. People did not like that concept at all, which is really unfortunate for that one. I'm actually, looking at it, I'm actually really surprised that Phantom Seer lasted as long as it did for 30 chapters. Like, that's actually really impressive. For me, this is the least hyped I've been for the Dragon Ball Super movie. Pickle Training Pan. If Pan ever aged up again, I hope she gets her bandana again. I really don't like Xeno Pan design. Yeah, for Pan... Yeah, like, I kind of wish we weren't doing Red Ribbon because it's just more androids and all that kind of stuff. Mind you, Android 17 was pretty much a game breaker during the war, not the war, the Tournament of Power. So maybe that in of itself is worthwhile. Uh-oh. I think I might have screwed up here. Thoughts on seeing Broly in the trailer? Oh, was Broly in there? I missed him. If he's in there, I totally missed him. I might have to try a 5-star unit to try and get past these things. Because I might also need to power these girls up a bit more. Broly was with Goku in the end. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it over, man. Thanks for telling me, guys. Like I wouldn't have known. So now I'm gonna have a little bit of fun trying to find Broly in that trailer again. I think I might need to put out a specialist. Actually, that was dumb. That was really, really dumb. Was it dumb? Yeah, no, it was dumb. That was dumb. That guy's gonna die and it's gonna be pretty sad. Let's see. There we go. I also have to question what that brain All For One had when he stole a clock was. At that time, many people assumed that it was the beginning of 6, and then he gave the quirk to 6, but now we know that it wasn't 6, so we're back to questioning what the and what why personally was there with it. I really don't know personally. Like the whole thing with 6 is still confusing to me, so I don't really know. They better age Goten and Trunks, keeping them looking like toddlers annoying. Yeah, Broly was in the let's see. The series only had one color compared to the popular successful. Only at least would have a couple by now. Actually, Distorted. So Distorted, I don't think I know you that well because I don't think you show up on the live streams, but I get in a lot of heated argument with another particular commenter over on Viz Media. But thanks for all those arguments, I've learned things. You're talking about the series only had one color spread. That's actually the big indication that it's not popular. When a series isn't popular, it doesn't get color spreads beyond the second chapter. So that's the big indication that Shonen Jump gave up on it pretty early on. Yeah. Should have been a bit more careful there. So interesting that you pointed it out, but there is a reason for that. And in terms of the data, like I did go back and I looked, and yeah, like every series that gets canceled doesn't get color spreads early on. It baffled me that 6 only has one quirk. Honestly, I think he should have been given multiple quirks so that all the observers he does make sense instead of nonsense we have at the moment. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the guy, yeah, there's a lot of things going on there with 6. Like he has something that lets him change his face and all that, right? Yeah. He punched the ground, making Goku back up. It's like one frame. Oh, okay. Alright, here we go. What's my skill? Attack speed plus 10? Sure. Someone's gonna break in a second here. Oh yeah, no, we're full on breaking. Okay. Everyone is dying. This is unfortunate. The cavemen are really destroying me. One person is standing up to the cavemen. I don't know what to do here. There's probably better ways of going about this. Anyway, the answer for all this stuff is he just injected himself with bomber cells. Ah, man, Vigilantes has so many ways of giving people unique quirks. Wait, Skelly, how do I delete units? Alright, Skell, you gotta tell me. Do you see pen? Hit the pen. Hit the pen. Okay, look around. No, that's not what I want. Skelly, you know I don't listen to tutorials. Skelly is now getting upset, which means I'm doing something stupid. What do I have to find here? Do you see the run logo? Alright, 1 second. Let's see. Run logo, run logo, run logo. Click on a character, there's a run logo. Okay. Let's do this. Yo, tell me, what side of the screen am I looking at? Am I looking at the left side or right side? Just hit the pen. What is this pen? Yeah, someone's got to help me here because I am being stupid here. What side of the screen am I looking at? On the edge of the square at the top left. Oops, sorry. Do. On the edge of the square at the top left. Top left. Do. I think it shouldn't be mirrored on my thing. Oh, I inject myself with bomber cells, the character square. Oh, wait. It might be an issue because of the mouse. The character square. What is going on here? Monster, turning myself into a sniper among other nonsensical abilities. Makes perfect sense, sarcasm. Alright, let's see. Oh, there it is. Got it. Sorry, I was looking all the way over here. Okay, now I get it. Thank you, Skell. Let's see. Well, now that changes the game because now I know I can maneuver. Oh, this is great, Skell. But that's a lot better. You know when you click, there's a diamond around the unit. Yeah, no, I never looked there. So now that's great to know. Oh, great. We had a boomer moment. Oh, great. All right, so now that I know how to do that, I'll change my strategies. But I do think it's 11:15. So, Skell, actually, thanks, man. I feel pretty good. This is great. Now, I don't know about this pen, but I'll figure it out. Now that I know there's a pen I gotta look for. Oh, man. Oh, that makes so many things so much easier. I knew I should have done a tutorial. Hopefully we see Overhaul again. Also, you have a quick read who is indestructible for the first 6 seconds of her existence. Yeah, that girl, right? The cool one at the beginning of the list. Yes. Hoping we see Overhaul again. Imagining him helping in the evasion of UA. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, with that said, guys, I'm going to end it there. And we're going to be back tomorrow. And probably back with Kenshin tomorrow. Any hoosers. I'm going to start saying the goodnights. So, goodnight to Gohan, Skell, Tai, White Despair. T-Play is a new person. Goodnight, T-Play. Goodnight to Robert. Goodnight to Distorted. Sarge. There's 16 people here. Animamus? Viz and Mark. Yeah, Chris. And Sar. Thank you guys for being here to watch my boomer moment. I really appreciate it. AN8683. And yeah, should be a good one. But yeah, guys, stay safe and until next time. Ending the stream when I find the button to end it. There we go. Ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Till next time, everybody, and stay safe. And yeah, hopefully those spoilers will be great tomorrow.